So tell us a little bit more about how you guys first met. Was it love at first sight? What put us in that moment?
I first met my husband at a party. One of my coworkers took me to a party, and I told my coworker, I said, "Oh, he is so hot. Who is that guy?" And she told me this was Nick. I went to grade school with him, and I said, "Can you tell him that I said he was hot?" And give him my number. And less than 24 hours later, he called me, and we went on our first date, and 12 years later, here we are. When we got married, we knew we wanted kids, but we never knew when. We knew we wanted to wait a while and have fun with our friends and do a little bit of traveling. So we had said, oh, we'll wait 3 years. And that's kind of what we did. But I found out that things don't always go as planned. So I thought mistakenly, you're going to get pregnant after your first month or two, and it was going to be easy, and I didn't understand why it wasn't working for us. So about a year later, we got our first positive pregnancy test, and we were elated. We told everybody right away after I took the pregnancy test. It was kind of a big announcement, a lot of happiness, a lot of excitement.
That's exciting times. What happened next?
We went to our first appointment. I was about 6 weeks pregnant. And the doctor asked us to do an early ultrasound because they were unclear when my due date was. And we went for the ultrasound, and there was no heartbeat. I remember just crying, and I don't think Nick knew quite yet what it meant. But then we came back a few days later for another ultrasound, and there was still no heartbeat. So then the doctor wanted me to go ahead and get scheduled for a DNC with another doctor who I had not met, and I had not felt comfortable with that approach. So I decided to seek a second opinion, and that's how I ended up here at the Christ Hospital. I saw Dr. Broxterman, and she was amazing. I remember one of the first things she said to me when she walked in the room, she said, "This isn't your fault." And I was almost taken aback because I think my guard was up a little bit. I was like, oh wow, a doctor is telling me it wasn't my fault. Nobody has said that to me throughout this whole journey. So I really appreciated that she talked to me as a human being with compassion. I wanted the whole experience to be over as quickly as possible. And the nurse, after the procedure, right before discharge, she came and she sat down and she said, "I'm really sorry for your loss." And she gave me this bracelet. And this was really the only thing that I had to remember the baby by, because I never, planted a tree or wrote a poem or, definitely never posted anything on Facebook or really even talked about my miscarriage afterwards. So it was really great that, the nurse took the time out of her busy day to say, I'm sorry for you. I really just, had to deal with my feelings and let myself cry and let myself grieve. I couldn't bear it. I tried to, avoid the world as much as possible. Whenever I would see a pregnant woman, I would walk the other way. I wanted to be happy like they seemed like they were. I remember it was a particularly hard day where I really didn't want to get out of bed. And in the mail, the nurse had sent me a card. "To the world, you were one person. To your parents, you were the world. Best wishes for your future. We are all thinking about you here at the Christ Hospital during your time in need. Leah, RN, thinking of you." Several months later, after the miscarriage, we were fortunate enough to get pregnant again. So I remember the first appointment, I intentionally scheduled it with Dr. Broxterman. I think the first thing I said to her is like, "Can we go see a heartbeat? Can we see a heartbeat?" She had remembered our situation and talked to the ultrasound tech and squeezed us in for an ultrasound. And we were able to see the heartbeat that day, which was really amazing. So I was in labor for over 24 hours, and it all ended up being great, and we have a healthy baby, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
So what's your greatest joy of being a mom so far?
I love being Max's mom because I love seeing all the new things he says and does every day. It's just fascinating that, you brought this tiny little person into this world, and you're responsible for, making him into a good person. I just love watching him grow and seeing him interact with others and being such a loving little boy.
So you clearly love being a mom. Do you expect to have any more children?
Yeah, so we, more than one child was always in our plans, so I'm excited to say we're pregnant again, and we're expecting around the first of the year, so we're really excited. I think about when I married my husband, I think about, we didn't get married to have kids. We got married because we had so much fun together and we were best friends. And I thought, before we had my son, if we don't have kids and it's just us for the rest of our lives, then I would be okay with that. But to women that are going through a miscarriage, I would just say there's a happy ending for you. It might not be exactly what you planned or exactly on the timeline you planned, or maybe it might not even be kids, but you will find peace, you'll find contentment, and you'll find happiness in your life.